Troilus and Cressida by William Shakespeare. Act I scene I Troy, before Priam's palace. Call here my varlet, I'll unarm again. Why should I war without the walls of Troy that find such cruel battle here within? Each Trojan that is master of his heart let him to field, Troilus, alas, hath none. The Greeks are strong and skillful to their strength, fierce to their skill, and to their fierceness valiant. But I am weaker than a woman's tear, tamer than sleep, fonder than ignorance, less valiant than the virgin in the night, and skillless as unpractised infancy. Patience herself, what goddess ere she be, doth lesser blench at sufferance than I do. At Priam's royal table do I sit, and when fair Cressida comes into my thoughts, so, traitor? When she comes? When is she thence? I was about to tell thee. When my heart, as wedged with a sigh, would rive in twain, lest Hector or my father should perceive me, I have, as when the sun doth light a storm, buried this sigh in wrinkle of a smile. But sorrow, that is couched in seeming gladness, is like that mirth fate turns to sudden sadness. O Pandarus, I tell thee, Pandarus, when I do tell thee that my hopes lie drowned, reply not in how many fathoms deep they lie indrenched. I tell thee I am mad in Cressida's love. Thou answerest she is fair. Paused in the open ulcer of my heart her eyes, her hair, her cheek, her gait, her voice, handlest in thy discourse, oh that her hand, in whose comparison all whites are ink, writing their own reproach, to whose soft seizure the signet's down is harsh and spirit of sense hard as the palm of plowman. This thou tell'st me, as true thou tell'st me, when I say I love her. But saying thus, instead of oil and balm, thou lay'st in every gash that love hath given me the knife that made it. Peace, you ungracious clamours, peace, rude sounds, fools on both sides, Helen must needs be fair, when with your blood you daily paint her thus. I cannot fight upon this argument, it is too starved a subject for my sword. But Pandarus? O gods, how do you plague me? I cannot come to Cressida but by Pandar, and he's as tetchy to be wooed to woo as she is stubborn chaste against all suit. Tell me, Apollo, for thy Daphne's love, what Cressida is, what Pandar, and what we? Her bed is India, there she lies, a pearl, between our Ilium and where she resides. Let it be called the wild and wandering flood, ourself the merchant, and this sailing Pandar our doubtful hope, our convoy and our bark. Because not there, this woman's answer soughts, for womanish it is to be from thence. What news, Aeneas, from the field today? Let Paris bleed, 'tis but a scar to scorn. Paris is God with Menelaus' horn, alarum. Better at home, if would I might were May. But to the spot abroad, are you bound thither? Scene room into the same, a street, up to the eastern tower, whose height commands as subject all the vale, to see the battle. Hector, whose patience is, as a virtue, fixed, today was moved. He chid Andromache and struck his armourer, and like as there were husbandry in war, before the sun rose he was harnessed light, and to the field goes he, where every flower did, as a prophet, weep what it foresaw in Hector's wrath. The noise goes, this, there is among the Greeks a lot of Trojan blood, nephew to Hector. They call him Ajax. They say he is a very man per se and stands alone. By the same token, you are a bawd. Exit Pandarus. Words, vows, gifts, tears, and love's full sacrifice he offers in another's enterprise, but more in Troilus thousandfold I see than in the glass of Pandar's praise maybe, yet hold I off. Women are angels, wooing, things one are done. Joy's soul lies in the doing. That she beloved knows not that knows not this. Men prize the thing ungained more than it is. That she was never yet that ever knew love got so sweet as when desire did sue. Therefore this maxim out of love I teach. Achievement is command, ungained beseech, then though my heart's content firm love doth bear, nothing of that shall from mine eyes appear. Exeunt. Scene Roman 3 the Grecian camp, before Agamemnon's tent. Princes, what grief hath set the jaundice on your cheeks? The ample proposition that hope makes in all designs begun on earth, below fails in the promised largeness. Checks and disasters grow in the veins of actions highest reared, as knots, by the conflux of meeting sap, infect the sound pine, and divert his grain tautive and errant from his cause of growth. Naw, princes, is it matter new to us, that we come short of our suppose so far, that after 7 years' siege yet Troy walls stand? Sith every action that hath gone before, whereof we have record, trial did draw bias and thwart, not answering the aim, and that unbodied figure of the thought that gave surmised shape. Why then, you princes, do you with cheeks abashed behold our works, and call them shames? Which are indeed naught else but the protractive trials of great Jove to find persistive constancy in men, the fineness of which metal is not found in fortune's love. For then the bold and coward, the wise and fool, the artist and unread, the hard and soft, seem all affined and kin, But, in the wind and tempest of her frown, distinction, with a broad and powerful fan, puffing it all, winnows the light away. And what hath mass or matter, by itself lies rich in virtue and unmingled. With due observance of thy godlike seat, great Agamemnon, Nesta shall apply thy latest words. In the reproof of chance lies the true proof of men. The sea being smooth, how many shallow bauble boats dare sail upon her patient breast, making their way with those of nobler bulk. But let the ruffian Boreas once enrage the gentle Thetis, and anon behold the strong-ribbed bark through liquid mountains cut, bounding between the two moist elements, like Perseus' Haughs. Whereas then the saucy boat whose weak, untimbered sides, but even now co-rivaled greatness, either to harbour fled, or made a toast for Neptune. Even so doth Vala's show, and Vala's worth divide in storms of fortune. For in her ray and brightness the herd hath more annoyance by the breeze than by the tiger. But when the splitting wind makes flexible the knees of knotted oaks, and flies fled under shade, why, then the thing of courage as roused with rage doth sympathize, and with an accent tuned in self-same key retorts to chiding fortune. Agamemnon, thou great commander, nerve and bone of Greece, heart of our numbers, soul and only spirit, in whom the tempers and the minds of all should be shut up, hear what Ulysses speaks. Besides the applause and approbation to which, to Agamemnon, most mighty for thy place and sway, to Nesta, and thou most reverend for thy stretched-out life, I give to both your speeches, which were such as Agamemnon and the hand of Greece should hold up high in brass, and such again as venerable Nesta, hatched in silver, should with a bond of air, strong as the axletree on which heaven rides, knit all the Greekish ears to his experienced tongue, yet let it please both, thou great and wise, to hear Ulysses speak. Speak, Prince of Ithaca, and bet of less expect that matter needless of impotless burden, divide thy lips than we are confident, when rank their sights opes his mastic jaws, we shall hear music, wit, and oracle. Troy, yet upon his basis, had been down, and the great Hector's sod had lacked a master, but for these instances, the specialty of rule hath been neglected, and look, how many Grecian tents do stand hollow upon this plain, so many hollow factions. When that the general is not like the hive to whom the foragers shall all repair, what honey is expected. Degree being visited, the unworthiest shows as fairly in the mosque. The heavens themselves, the planets and this center observe degree, priority and place, in sistia, cost, proportion, season, form, office and custom, in all line of order, and therefore is the glorious planet Sol in noble eminence enthroned and sphered amidst the other, whose medicinable eye corrects the ill aspects of planets evil, and posts, like the commandment of a king, sans check to good and bad. But when the planets in evil mixture to disorder wander, what plagues and what portents, what mutiny, what raging of the sea, shaking of earth, commotion in the winds, frights, changes, horrors, divert and crack, rend and deracinate the unity and married calm of states quite from their fixtura. Oh, when degree is shaked, which is the ladder to all high designs, then enterprise is sick. How could communities, degrees in schools and brotherhoods in cities, peaceful commerce from dividable shaws, the primogenitive and due of birth, prerogative of age, crowns, sceptres, laurels, but by degree, stand in authentic place? Take but degree away, untune that string, and hark, what discord follows. Each thing meets in mere oppugnancy. The bounded waters should lift their bosoms higher than the shaws and make a sop of all this solid globe. Strength should be laud of imbecility, and the rude son should strike his father dead. Force should be right, or rather, right and wrong, between whose endless jaw justice resides, should lose their names, and so should justice too. Then everything includes itself in power, power into will into appetite, and appetite, an universal wolf, so doubly seconded with will and power, must make perforce an universal prey, and lost eat up himself. Great Agamemnon, this chaos, when degree is suffocate, follows the choking. And this neglection of degree it is that by a pace goes backward, with a purpose it hath to climb. The generals disdained by him one step below, he by the next, that next by him beneath. So every step, exampled by the first pace that is sick of his superior, grows to an envious fever of pale and bloodless emulation. And 'tis this fever that keeps Troy on foot, not her own sinews. To end a tale of length, Troy in our weakness stands, not in her strength. Most wisely hath Ulysses here discovered the fever whereof all our power is sick. The nature of the sickness found, Ulysses, what is the remedy? The great Achilles, whom opinion crowns the sinew and the forehand of our host, having his ear full of his airy fame, grows dainty of his worth, and in his tent lies mocking our designs. With him Patroclus upon a lazy bed, the livelong day breaks scurril jests, and with ridiculous and awkward action, which slanderer, he imitation calls, he pageants us. Sometime, great Agamemnon, thy topless deputation he puts on, and like a strutting player, whose conceit lies in his hamstring, and doth think it rich to hear the wooden dialogue and sound twixt his stretched footing and the scaffoldage, such to be pitied and orested seeming he acts thy greatness in, and when he speaks, 'tis like a chime amending, with terms unsquared, which, from the tongue of roaring Typhon dropped would seem hyperboles. At this fusty stuff, the large Achilles, on his pressed bed lolling, from his deep chest laughs out a loud applause, cries, "Excellent? 'Tis Agamemnon just. Now play me Nesta, hem, and stroke thy beard," as he being dressed to some oration. That's done, as near as the extremest ends of parallels, as like as Vulcan and his wife. Yet god Achilles still cries, "Excellent? 'Tis Nesta right. Now play him me Patroclus, arming to answer in a night alarm." And then, forsooth, the faint defects of age must be the scene of mirth, to cough and spit, and, with a palsy fumbling on his gogget, shake in and out the rivet. And at this spot Sir Vala dies, cries, "Oh, enough, Patroclus, oh give me ribs of steel, I shall split all in pleasure of my spleen." And in this fashion, all our abilities, gifts, natures, shapes, severals and generals of grace exact, achievements, plots, orders, preventions, excitements to the field, our speech for truce, success, all loss. What is or is not serves as stuff for these two to make paradoxes. And in the imitation of these twain, who, as Ulysses says, opinion crowns with an imperial voice, many are infect. Ajax is grown self-willed and bears his head in such a rein, in full as proud a place as broad Achilles, keeps his tent like him, makes factious feasts, rails on our state of war, bold as an oracle, and sets their sights, a slave whose gall coins slanders like a mint, to match us in comparisons with dirt, to weaken and discredit our exposure, how rank soever rounded in with danger. They tax our policy, and call it cowardice, count wisdom as no member of the war, forestall prescience, and esteem no act but that of hand. The still and mental pots that do contrive how many hands shall strike, when fitness calls them on, and know by measure of their observant toil the enemy's weight. Why, this hath not a finger's dignity. They call this bed work, mappery, closet-wa, so that the ram that batters down the wall, for the great swing and rudeness of his poise, they place before his hand that made the engine, are those that with the fineness of their souls by reason guide his execution. Let this be granted, and Achilles' hoss makes many Thetis' sons. A tucket. May one, that is a herald and a prince, do a fair message to his kingly ears, with surety stronger than Achilles' arm for all the Greekish heads, which with one voice call Agamemnon head and general. Fair leave and large security. How may a stranger to those most imperial looks know them from eyes of other mortals? I ask, that I might waken reverence, and bid the cheek be ready with a blush modest as morning when she coldly eyes the youthful Phoebus, which is that god in office, guiding men, which is the high and mighty Agamemnon. This Trojan scorns us, all the men of Troy are ceremonious courtiers. Courtiers as free, as debonair, unarmed, as bending angels. That's their fame in peace. But when they would seem soldiers, they have galls, good arms, strong joints, true swords, and, Jove's accord, nothing so full of heart. But peace, Aeneas, peace, Trojan, lay thy finger on thy lips. The worthiness of praise disdains his worth, if that the praised himself bring the praise forth. But what the repining enemy commends, that breath fame blows, that praise, soul pure, transcends. Nor I from Troy come not to whisper him. I bring a trumpet to awake his ear, to set his sense on the attentive bent, and then to speak. Speak frankly as the wind, it is not Agamemnon's sleeping hour, that thou shalt know, Trojan, he is awake, he tells thee so himself. Trumpet, blow loud, send thy brass voice through all these lazy tents, and every Greek of metal, let him know, what Troy means fairly shall be spoke aloud. Trumpet sounds, we have great Agamemnon, here in Troy a prince called Hector, Priam is his father, who in this dull and long-continued truce is rusty grown. He bade me take a trumpet, and to this purpose speak. Kings, princes, lords, if there be one among the fairest of Greece that holds his honor higher than his ease, that seeks his praise more than he fears his peril, that knows his valor, and knows not his fear, that loves his mistress more than in confession, with truant vows to her own lips he loves, and dare avow her beauty and her worth in other alms than hers, to him this challenge. Hector, in view of Trojans and of Greeks, shall make it good, or do his best to do it. He hath a lady, wiser, fairer, truer, than ever Greek did compass in his arms, and will tomorrow with his trumpet call midway between your tents and walls of Troy, to rouse a Grecian that is true in love. if any come, Hector shall honor him. If none, he'll say in Troy when he retires, the Grecian dames are sunburnt and not worth the splinter of a lance. Even so much. This shall be told our lovers, Lord Aeneas, if none of them have soul in such a kind, we left them all at home, but we are soldiers, and may that soldier a mere recreant prove that means not, hath not, or is not in love. If then one is, or hath, or means to be that one meets Hector, if none else I am he. Tell him of Nestor, one that was a man when Hector's grandsire sucked. He is old now. But if there be not in our Grecian host one noble man that hath one spark of fire, to answer for his love, tell him from me I'll hide my silver beard in a gold beaver, and in my vantbrace put this withered brawn, and meeting him will tell him that my lady was fairer than his grandam, and as chaste as may be in the world. His youth in flood, I'll prove this truth with my 3 drops of blood. Fair Lord Aeneas, let me touch your hand, to our pavilion shall I lead you, sir. Achilles shall have word of this intent, so shall each lord of Greece, from tent to tent. Yourself shall feast with us before you go and find the welcome of a noble foe. Exeunt all but Ulysses and Nestor. I have a young conception in my brain, be you my time to bring it to some shape. This 'tis, blunt wedges rive hard knots. The seated pride that hath to this maturity blown up in rank Achilles must now be cropped, shedding, breed a nursery of like evil, to overbulk us all. This challenge that the gallant Hector sends, however it is spread in general name, relates in purpose only to Achilles. The purpose is perspicuous even as substance, whose grossness little characters sum up, and in the publication, make no strain, but that Achilles, were his brain as barren as banks of Libya, though, Apollo knows, 'tis dry enough, will, with great speed of judgment, with celerity, find Hector's purpose pointing on him. Yes, 'tis most meet. Whom may you else suppose that can from Hector bring his honor off, if not Achilles? Thoug't be a spotful combat, yet in the trial much opinion dwells. For here the Trojans taste our dearest repute with their finest palate, and trust to me, Ulysses, our imputation shall be oddly poised in this wild action. For the success, although particular, shall give a scantling of good or bad unto the general. And in such indexes, although small pricks to their subsequent volumes, there is seen the baby figure of the giant mass of things to come at large. It is supposed he that meets Hector issues from our choice. And choice, being mutual act of all our souls, makes merit her election, and doth boil, as 'twere from forth us all, a man distilled out of our virtues, who miscarrying, what hot receives from hence the conquering pot, to steal a strong opinion to themselves. Which entertained, limbs are his instruments in no less working than our swords and bows directive by the limbs. Give pardon to my speech, therefore 'tis meet Achilles meet not Hector. Let us, like merchants, show our foulest wares, and think, perchance, they'll sell. If not, the luster of the better yet to show, shall show the better. Do not consent that ever Hector and Achilles meet, for both our honor and our shame in this are dogged with 2 strange followers. What glory our Achilles shares from Hector, were he not proud, we all should share with him. But he already is too insolent, and we were better potch in Afric's sun than in the pride and salt scorn of his eyes, should he scape Hector fair. If he were foiled, why then, we did our main opinion crush in taint of our best man. No, make a lottery, and, by device, let blockish Ajax draw the sot to fight with Hector. Among ourselves give him allowance for the better man, for that will physic the great Myrmidon who broils in loud applause, and make him fall his crest that prouder than blue iris bends. If the dull, brainless Ajax come safe off, we'll dress him up in voices. If he fail, yet go we under our opinion still that we have better men. But hit or miss, our project's life this shape of sense assumes. Ajax employed plucks down Achilles' plumes. Ulysses, now I begin to relish thy advice, and I will give a taste of it forthwith to Agamemnon. Go we to him straight. 2 curs shall tame each other. Pride alone must taw the mastiffs on, as 'twere their bone. Exeunt. Prologue in Troy, there lies the scene. From isles of Greece the princes Augulus, their high blood chafed, have to the pot of Athens sent their ships, fraught with the ministers and instruments of cruel war. 69, that war their crownets regal, from the Athenian bay put forth toward Phrygia. And their vow is made to ransack Troy, within whose strong immures the ravished Helen, Menelaus' queen, with wanton Paris sleeps, and that's the quarrel. To Tenedos they come, and the deep-drawing box do their disgorge their warlike fraughtage. Now on Dardan plains the fresh and yet unbruised Greeks do pitch their brave pavilions. Priam's 6-gated city, Dardan and Timbria, Helias, Chetas, Troyan, and Antenorides, with massy staples and corresponsive and fulfilling bolts, spare up the sons of Troy. Now expectation, tickling skittish spirits on one another's side, Trojan and Greek, sets all on hazard. And hither am I come a prologue armed, but not in confidence of author's pen or actor's voice, but suited in like conditions as our argument, to tell you, fair beholders, that our play leaps are the vaunt and firstlings of those broils, beginning in the middle, starting thence away to what may be digested in a play. Like or find fault, do as your pleasures are, now good or bad, 'tis but the chance of war. Troilus and Cressida by William Shakespeare. Uncopyright may you do good and not evil. May you find forgiveness for yourself and forgive others. May you share freely, never taking more than you give. Copyright pages exist to tell you that you can't do something. Unlike them, this uncopyright page exists to tell you that the writing and artwork in this ebook are believed to be in the United States public domain. That is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. The United States public domain represents our collective cultural heritage, and items in it are free for anyone in the United States to do almost anything at all with, without having to get permission. Copyright laws are different all over the world, and the source text or artwork in this ebook may still be copyrighted in other countries. If you're not located in the United States, you must check your local laws before using this ebook. Standard ebooks makes no representations regarding the copyright status of the source text or artwork in this ebook in any country other than the United States. Non-authorship activities performed on items that are in the public domain, so-called sweat of the brow, work, don't create a new copyright. That means that nobody can claim a new copyright on an item that is in the public domain for, among other things, work like digitization, mock-up, or typography. Regardless, the contributors to this ebook released their contributions under the terms in the CC 01.0 Universal Public Domain dedication, thus dedicating to the worldwide public domain all of the work they've done on this ebook, including but not limited to metadata, the title page, imprint, colophon, this uncopyright, and any changes or enhancements to, or mock-up on, the original text and artwork. This dedication doesn't change the copyright status of the source text or artwork. We make this dedication in the interest of enriching our global cultural heritage, to promote free and libre culture around the world, and to give back to the unrestricted culture that has given all of us so much. Table of Contents Landmarks, Act Roman 2 Scene I a part of the Grecian camp. Mary, this, sir, is proclaimed through all our host, that Hector, by the 5th hour of the sun, will with a trumpet twixt our tents and Troy tomorrow morning call some knight to arms that hath a stomach, and such a one that dare maintain, I know not what, 'tis trash. Farewell. I know not, 'tis put to lottery, otherwise he knew his man. Scene Roman 2 Troy, a room in Priam's palace. After so many hours, lives, speeches spent, thus once again says Nestor from the Greeks, deliver Helen, and all damage else, as honor, loss of time, travail, expense, wounds, friends, and what else dear that is consumed in hot digestion of this cormorant war, shall be struck off. Hector, what say you taught? Though no man lesser fears the Greeks than I as far as toucheth my particular, yet, dread Priam, there is no lady of more softer bowels, more spongy to suck in the sense of fear, more ready to cry out, who knows what follows. Than Hector is, the wound of peace is surety, surety secure. But modest doubt is called the beacon of the wise, the tent that searches to the bottom of the worst. Let Helen go, since the first sod was drawn about this question, every tithe soul, mongst many thousand dismays, hath been as dear as Helen, I mean of ours. If we have lost so many tenths of ours, to God a thing not ours nor worth to us, had it our name, the value of 1/10, what merits in that reason which denies the yielding of her up? Fie, fie, my brother. Weigh you the worth and honor of a king so great as our dread father in a scale of common ounces? Will you with countess sum the past proportion of his infinite, and buckle in a waist most fathomless with spans and inches so diminutive as fears and reasons? Fie, for godly shame! No marvel, though you bite so sharp at reasons, you are so empty of them. Should not our father bear the great sway of his affairs with reasons, because your speech hath none that tells him so? You are for dreams and slumbers, brother priest, you fur your gloves with reason. Here are your reasons. You know an enemy intends you harm. You know a sod employed is perilous, and reason flies the object of all harm. Who marvels then, when Helenus beholds a Grecian and his sod, if he do set the very wings of reason to his heels and fly like chidden Mercury from Jove, all like a star dissolved? Nay, if we talk of reason, let's shut our gates and sleep. Manhood and honor should have hair hearts, would they but fat their thoughts with this crammed reason. Reason and respect make livers pale and lustihood deject. Brother, she is not worth what she doth cost the holding, but value dwells not in particular will. It holds his estimate and dignity as well wherein 'tis precious of itself as in the prizer. 'Tis mad idolatry to make the service greater than the God, and the will dotes that is attributive to what infectiously itself affects, without some image of the affected merit. I take today a wife, and my election is led on in the conduct of my will enkindled by mine eyes and ears, two traded pilots twixt the dangerous shaws of will and judgment. How may I avoid, although my will distaste what it elected, the wife I chose? There can be no evasion to blench from this, and to stand firm by honor. We turn not back the silks upon the merchant when we have soiled them, nor the remainder viands we do not throw in unrespective sieve, because we now are full. It was thought meet Paris should do some vengeance on the Greeks. Your breath of full consent bellowed his sails. The seas and winds, old wranglers, took a truce and did him service. He touched the pots desired, and for an old aunt whom the Greeks held captive, he brought a Grecian queen, whose youth and freshness wrinkles Apollo's, and makes stale the morning. Why keep we her? The Grecians keep our aunt, is she worth keeping? Why, she is a pearl, whose price hath launched above 1,000 ships and turned crowned kings to merchants. If you'll avouch 'twas wisdom Paris went, as you must needs, for you all cried, go, go. If you'll confess he brought home noble prize, as you must needs, for you all clapped your hands and cried, inestimable. Why do you now the issue of your proper wisdom's rate, and do a deed that fortune never did, beggar the estimation which you prized richer than sea and land? Oh, theft most base, that we have stol'n what we do fear to keep. But thieves, unworthy of a thing so stol'n, that in their country did them that disgrace, we fear to warrant in our native place? Cry, Trojans, cry, lend me 10,000 eyes, and I will fill them with prophetic tears. Virgins and boys, mid-age and wrinkled eld, soft infancy, that nothing canst but cry, add to my clamors. Let us pay betimes a moiety of that massive moan to come. Cry, Trojans, cry, practice your eyes with tears. Troy must not be, nor goodly Ilion stand, our firebrand brother, Paris, burns us all. Cry, Trojans, cry, a Helen and a woe, cry, cry, Troy burns, or else let Helen go. Exit. Now, youthful Troilus, do not these high strains of divination in our sister work some touches of remorse? Or is your blood so madly hot that no discourse of reason, nor fear of bad success in a bad cause, can qualify the same? Why, brother Hector, we may not think the justness of each act such and no other than event doth form it, nor once deject the courage of our minds, because Cassandra's mad. Her brain-sick raptures cannot distaste the goodness of a quarrel, which hath our several honours all engaged to make it gracious. For my private part, I am no more touched than all Priam's sons, and Jove forbid there should be done amongst us such things as might offend the weakest spleen to fight for and maintain. Else might the world convince of levity as well my undertakings as your counsels, but I attest the gods, your full consent gave wings to my propension, and cut off all fears attending on so dire a project. For what, alas, can these my single arms, what propugnation is in one man's valour, to stand the push and enmity of those this quarrel would excite? Yet, I protest, were I alone to pass the difficulties, and had as ample power as I have will, Paris should ne'er retract what he hath done, nor faint in the pursuit. Paris, you speak like one besotted on your sweet delights. You have the honey still, but these the gall, so to be valiant is no praise at all. Sir, I propose not merely to myself the pleasures such a beauty brings with it, but I would have the soil of her fair rape wiped off, in honourable keeping her. What treason were it to the ransacked queen, disgrace to your great worths and shame to me, now to deliver her possession up on terms of base compulsion? Can it be that so degenerate a strain as this should once set footing in your generous bosoms? There's not the meanest spirit on our party without a heart to dare or sword to draw when Helen is defended, nor none so noble whose life were ill bestowed or death unfamed where Helen is the subject. Then, I say, well may we fight for her whom, we know well, the world's large spaces cannot parallel. Paris and Troilus, you have both said well, and on the cause and question now in hand have glozed, but superficially, not much unlike young men, whom Aristotle thought unfit to hear moral philosophy. The reasons you allege do more conduce to the hot passion of distempered blood than to make up a free determination twixt right and wrong. For pleasure and revenge have ears more deaf than adders to the voice of any true decision. Nature craves all dues be rendered to their owners. Now, what nearer debt in all humanity than wife is to the husband? If this law of nature be corrupted through affection, and that great minds, of partial indulgence to their benumbed wills, resist the same, there is a law in each well-ordered nation to curb those raging appetites that are most disobedient and refractory. If Helen then be wife to Sparta's king, as it is known she is, these moral laws of nature and of nations speak aloud to have her back returned. Thus to persist in doing wrong extenuates not wrong, but makes it much more heavy. Hector's opinion is this in way of truth. Yet ne'ertheless, my sprightly brethren, I prepend to you in resolution to keep Helen still, for 'tis a cause that hath no mean dependence upon our joint and several dignities. Why, there you touch the life of our design. Were it not glory that we more affected than the performance of our heaving spleens, I would not wish a drop of Trojan blood spent more in her defense. But worthy Hector, she is a theme of honor and renown, a spur to valiant and magnanimous deeds, whose present courage may beat down our foes, and fame in time to come canonize us. For I presume, brave Hector would not lose so rich advantage of a promised glory, as smiles upon the forehead of this action for the wide world's revenue. I am yours, you valiant offspring of great Priamus. I have a roisting challenge sent amongst the dun and factious nobles of the Greeks will strike amazement to their drowsy spirits. I was advertised their great general slept, whilst emulation in the army crept. This, I presume, will wake him. Exeunt. Scene Roman 3, the Grecian camp, before Achilles' tent. Let it be known to him that we are here. He shent our messengers, and we lay by our appertainments, visiting of him. Let him be told so, lest perchance he think we dare not move the question of our place, or know not what we are. We saw him at the opening of his tent, he is not sick. Achilles bids me say, he is much sorry, if anything more than your sport and pleasure did move your greatness and this noble state to call upon him. He hopes it is no other but for your health and your digestion's sake, and after dinner's breath. Hear you, Patroclus? We are too well acquainted with these answers, but his evasion, winged thus swift with scorn, cannot outfly our apprehensions. Much attribute he hath, and much the reason why we ascribe it to him. Yet all his virtues, not virtuously on his own part beheld, do in our eyes begin to lose their gloss, yea, like fair fruit in an unwholesome dish, are like to rot untasted. Go and tell him, we come to speak with him, and you shall not sin, if you do say we think him overproud and underhonest, in self-assumption greater than in the note of judgment. And worthier than himself here tend the savage strangeness he puts on, disguise the holy strength of their command, and underwrite in an observing kind his humorous predominance. Yea, watch his pettish loons, his ebbs, his flows, as if the passage and whole carriage of this action rode on his tide. Go tell him this, and add, that if he overhold his price so much, will none of him, but let him, like an engine not potable, lie under this repot. Bring action hither, this cannot go to war. A stirring dwarf we do allowance give before a sleeping giant. Tell him so. In second voice will not be satisfied, we come to speak with him. Ulysses, enter you. Exit Ulysses, he doth rely on none, but carries on the stream of his dispose without observance or respect of any, in will peculiar and in self-admission. Why will he not upon our fair request untent his person and share the air with us? Things small as nothing, for request's sake only, he makes important. Possessed he is with greatness, and speaks not to himself, but with a pride that quarrels at self-breath. Imagined worth holds in his blood such swoln and hot discourse that twixt his mental and his active parts kingdomed Achilles in commotion rages and batters down himself. What should I say? He is so plague-eye proud that the death tokens of it cry, no recovery. Let Ajax go to him. Dear Lord, go you and greet him in his tent. 'Tis said he holds you well, and will be led at your request a little from himself. O Agamemnon, let it not be so. We'll consecrate the steps that Ajax makes when they go from Achilles. Shall the proud lord that bastes his arrogance with his own seem, and never suffers matter of the world enter his thoughts, save such as do revolve and ruminate himself, shall he be worshipped of that we hold an idol more than he? No, this thrice worthy and right valiant laud must not so stale his palm, nobly acquired, nor, by my will, subjugate his merit as amply titled as Achilles is, by going to Achilles, that were to enlaud his fat already pride and add more coals to cancer when he burns with entertaining great Hyperion. This laud go to him? Jupiter forbid, and say in thunder, Achilles go to him. If I go to him, with my armed fist I'll pash him all the face, and be proud with me I'll feeze his pride, let me go to him. Why, 'tis this naming of him does him harm. Here is a man, but 'tis before his face I will be silent. Wherefore should you so? He is not emulous as Achilles is. A hoss and dog that shall pelter thus with us? Would he were a Trojan? Thank the heavens, laud, thou art of sweet composure. Praise him that got thee, she that gave thee suck, famed be thy tutor, and thy pots of nature thrice famed beyond all erudition. But he that disciplined thy arms to fight, let Mars divide eternity in twain, and give him half, and, for thy vigor, bull-bearing Milo his addition yield to sinewy Ajax. I will not praise thy wisdom, which, like a bawn a pale a shaw, confines thy spacious and dilated pots. Here's Nestor, instructed by the antiquary times, he cannot but be wise. Put pardon, Father Nestor, were your days as green as Ajax and your brain so tempered, you should not have the eminence of him, but be as Ajax. There is no tarrying here, the hot Achilles keeps thicket. Please it our great general to call together all his state of war. Fresh kings are come to Troy. Tomorrow we must with all our main of power stand fast, and here's a laud, come knights from east to west, and cull their flower, Ajax shall cope the best. Go we to council. Let Achilles sleep, light boats sail swift, though greater hulks draw deep. Exeunt. Act Roman 3 Scene Troy. Priam's palace, in good troth it begins so. Sings. Love, love, nothing but love still more, for oh, love's bow shoots buck and doe. The shaft confounds, not that it wounds, but tickles still the saw. These lovers cry, oh, oh, they die, yet that which seems the wound to kill doth turn, oh, oh, to ha, ha, he so dying love lives still. Oh, oh, a while, but ha, 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 oh, oh, groans out for ha, 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 hey ho. There come from field, let us to Priam's hall, to greet the warriors. Sweet Helen, I must woo you to help unarm our Hector. His stubborn buckles, with these your white enchanting fingers touched, shall more obey than to the edge of steel, or fosse of Greekish sinews. You shall do more than all the island kings, disarm great Hector. 'Twill make us proud to be his servant, Paris. Yeah, what he shall receive of us in duty gives us more palm and beauty than we have, yeah, overshines ourself. Scene Roman 2 the same. Pandarus orchard. No, Pandarus, I stalk about her daw, like a strange soul upon the Stygian banks staying for waftage. Oh, be thou my Charon, and give me swift transportance to those fields where I may wallow in the lily beds proposed for the deserva. O gentle Pandarus, from Cupid's shoulder pluck his painted wings and fly with me to Cressida. I am giddy, expectation whirls me round. The imaginary relish is so sweet that it enchants my sense. What will it be, when that the watery palate tastes indeed love's thrice repured nectar? Death, I fear me, swooning destruction, or some joy too fine, too subtle potent, tuned too sharp in sweetness, for the capacity of my ruder powers. I fear it much, and I do fear besides that I shall lose distinction in my joys, as doth a battle, when they charge on heaps the enemy flying. Even such a passion doth embrace my bosom, my heart beats thicker than a feverous pulse, and all my powers do their bestowing lose, like vassalage at unawares encountering the eye of majesty. Boldness comes to me now, and brings me hot. Prince Troilus, I have loved you night and day for many weary months. Hard to seem won, but I was won, my lord, with the first glance that ever, pardon me, if I confess much, you will play the tyrant. I love you now, but not till now, so much but I might master it, in faith I lie, my thoughts were like unbridled children, grown too headstrong for their mother. See, we fools, why have I blabbed? Who shall be true to us when we are so unsecret to ourselves? But though I loved you well, I wooed you not, and yet, good faith, I wished myself a man, or that we women had men's privilege of speaking first. Sweet, bid me hold my tongue, for in this rapture I shall surely speak the thing I shall repent. See, your silence, cunning in dumbness, from my weakness draws my very soul of counsel. Stop my mouth. My lord, I do beseech you, pardon me. 'Twas not my purpose thus to beg a kiss, I am ashamed. O heavens, what have I done? For this time will I take my leave, my lord, you cannot shun yourself. Let me go and try. I have a kind of self resides with you, but an unkind self that itself will leave to be another's fool. I would be gone? Where is my wit? I know not what I speak. Perchance, my lord, I show more craft than love, and fell so roundly to a large confession, to angle for your thoughts. But you are wise, or else you love not, for to be wise and love exceeds man's might, that dwells with gods above. Oh, that I thought it could be in a woman, as if it can, I will presume in you, to feed for aye her ramp and flames of love, to keep her constancy in plight and youth, outliving beauty's outward, with a mind that doth renew swifter than blood decays. All that persuasion could but thus convince me that my integrity and truth to you might be affronted with the match and weight of such a winnowed purity and love. How were I then uplifted? But, alas, I am as true as truth's simplicity and simpler than the infancy of truth. O virtuous fight, when right with right was who shall be most right, true swains in love shall in the world to come approve their truths by Troilus. when their rhymes, full of protest, of oath and big compare, want similes, truth tired with iteration, as true as steel, as plantage to the moon, as sun to day, as turtle to her mate, as iron to adamant, as earth to the center, yet, after all comparisons of truth, as truth's authentic author to be cited, as true as Troilus shall crown up the verse and sanctify the numbers. Prophet may you be, if I be false, or swerve a hair from truth, when time is old and hath forgot itself, when waterdrops have won the stones of Troy, and blind oblivion swallowed cities up, and mighty states characterless are graded to dusty nothing, yet let memory, from false to false among false maids in love, upbraid my falsehood. When they've said, as false as air, as water, wind, or sandy earth, as fox to lamb, as wolf to heifer's calf, pod to the hind, or stepdame to her son. Yeah, let them say, to stick the heart of falsehood, as false as Cressida. Amen. Whereupon I will show you a chamber with a bed, which bed, because it shall not speak of your pretty encounters, press it to death. Away? And Cupid grant all tongue-tied maidens here bed, chamber, Panda to provide this gear, exeunt. Scene Roman 3 the Grecian camp, before Achilles' tent. Now, princes, for the service I have done you, the advantage of the time prompts me aloud to call for recompense. Appear it to your mind that, through the sight I bear in things to love, I have abandoned Troy, left my possession, incurred a traitor's name, exposed myself, from certain and possessed conveniences, to doubtful fortunes. Sequestering from me all that time, acquaintance, custom and condition made tame and most familiar to my nature, and here, to do you service, am become as new into the world, strange, unacquainted. I do beseech you, as in way of taste, to give me now a little benefit, out of those many registered in promise, which, you say, live to come in my behalf. You have a Trojan prisoner, called Antenor, yesterday took. Troy holds him very dear. Often have you thanks therefore, desired my Cressida in right great exchange, whom Troy hath still denied. But this Antenor, I know, is such a rest in their affairs that their negotiations all must slack, wanting his manage, and they will almost give us a prince of blood, a son of Priam, in change of him. Let him be sent, great princes, and he shall buy my daughter, and her presence shall quite strike off all service I have done, in most accepted pain. Let Diomedes bear him, and bring us Cressida hither. Calchas shall have what he requests of us. Good Diomedes, furnish you fairly for this interchange. Withal bring word if Hector will tomorrow be answered in his challenge. Ajax is ready. This shall I undertake, and 'tis a burden which I am proud to bear. Exeunt Diomedes and Calchas. Achilles stands I the entrance of his tent, pleased our general to pass strangely by him, as if he were forgot, and princes all, lay negligent and loose regard upon him. I will come last. 'Tis like he'll question me why such unplausive eyes are bent on him. If so, I have derision medicinable, to use between your strangeness and his pride, which his own will shall have desire to drink, it may be good. Pride hath no other glass to show itself but pride, for supple knees feed arrogance and are the proud man's fees. We'll execute your purpose, and put on a form of strangeness as we pass along, so do each laud, and either greet him not, or else disdainfully, which shall shake him more than if not looked on. I will lead the way. What, comes the general to speak with me? You know my mind, I'll fight no more gainst Troy. They pass by strangely. They were used to bend, to send their smiles before them to Achilles, to come as humbly as they used to creep to holy altars. What, am I poor of late? 'Tis certain greatness, once fallen out with fortune, must fall out with men too. What the declined is he shall as soon read in the eyes of others as feel in his own fall. For men, like butterflies, show not their mealy wings but to the summer, and not a man, for being simply man, hath any honor, but honor for those honors that are without him, as place, riches, favor, prizes of accident as oft as merit, which when they fall, as being slippery standers, the love that leaned on them as slippery too, do one pluck down another, and together die in the fall. But 'tis not so with me. Fortune and I are friends. I do enjoy at ample point all that I did possess, save these men's looks, who do, methinks, find out something not worth in me such rich beholding as they have often given. Here is Ulysses, I'll interrupt his reading. How now, Ulysses? A strange fellow here writes me. That man, how dearly ever parted, how much in having, or without or in, cannot make boast to have that which he hath, nor feels not what he owes, but by reflection, as when his virtues shining upon others heat them, and they retort that heat again to the first giver. This is not strange, Ulysses. The beauty that is born here in the face the bearer knows not, but commends itself to others' eyes, nor doth the eye itself, that most pure spirit of sense, behold itself, not going from itself, but eye to eye opposed salutes each other with each other's form, For speculation turns not to itself, till it hath travelled and is mirrored there where it may see itself. This is not strange at all. I do not strain at the position, it is familiar, but at the author's drift, who, in his circumstance, expressly proves that no man is the lord of anything, though in and of him there be much consisting, till he communicate his parts to others. Nor doth he of himself know them for aught till he behold them formed in the applause where they're extended, who, like an arch, reverberates the voice again, or, like a gate of steel fronting the sun, receives and renders back his figure and his heat. I was much wrapped in this, and apprehended here immediately the unknown Ajax. Heavens, what a man is there, a very horse that has he knows not what. Nature, what things there are most abject in regard and dear in use. What things again most dear in the esteem and poor in worth. Now shall we see tomorrow, an act that very chance doth throw upon him, Ajax renowned. O heavens, what some men do, while some men leave to do? How some men creep in skittish Fortune's hall, whiles others play the idiots in her eyes. How one man eats into another's pride, while pride is fasting in his wantonness? To see these Grecian lauds. Why, even already they clap the lubber Ajax on the shoulder, as if his foot were on brave Hector's breast and great Troy shrieking. I do believe it, for they passed by me as misers do by beggars, neither gave to me good word nor look. What are my deeds forgot? Time hath my lord a wallet at his back, wherein he puts alms for oblivion, a great-sized monster of ingratitudes. Those scraps are good deeds past, which are devoured as fast as they are made, forgot as soon as done. Perseverance, dear my lord, keeps honour bright. To have done is to hang quite out of fashion, like a rusty mail in monumental mockery. Take the instant way, for honour travels in a strait so narrow, where one but goes abreast. Keep then the path, for emulation hath 1,000 sons that one by one pursue. If you give way, or hedge aside from the direct forthright, like to an entered tide, they all rush by and leave you hindmost. Or like a gallant horse fallen in first rank, lie there for pavement to the abject rear, o'errun and trampled on. Then what they do in present, though less than yours in past, must ought up yours. For time is like a fashionable host that slightly shakes his potting guest by the hand, and with his arms outstretched as he would fly, grasps in the comer. Welcome ever smiles, and farewell goes out sighing. Oh, let not virtue seek remuneration for the thing it was. For beauty, wit, high birth, vigor of bone, desert in service, love, friendship, charity, are subjects all to envious and calumniating time. One touch of nature makes the whole world kin, that all with one consent praise new-born gods, though they are made and moulded of things past, and give to dust that is a little guilt more laud than guilt awe-dusted. The present eye praises the present object. Then marvel not, thou great and complete man, that all the Greeks begin to worship Ajax, since things in motion sooner catch the eye than what not stirs. The cry went once on thee, and still it might, and yet it may again, if thou wouldst not entomb thyself alive and case thy reputation in thy tent, whose glorious deeds, but in these fields of late, made emulous missions mongst the gods themselves, and drave great maws to faction. Of this my privacy I have strong reasons. But gainst your privacy, the reasons are more potent and heroical. 'Tis known, Achilles, that you are in love with one of Priam's daughters. Is that a wonder? The Providence that's in a watchful state knows almost every grain of Plutus gold, finds bottom in the uncomprehensive deeps, keeps place with thought and almost, like the gods, does thoughts unveil in their dumb cradles. There is a mystery, with whom relation durst never meddle, in the soul of state, which hath an operation more divine than breath or pen can give expression to. All the commerce that you have had with Troy as perfectly is ours as yours, my lord. And better would it fit Achilles much to throw down Hector than Polyxena. But it must grieve young Pyrrhus now at home, when fame shall in our island sound her trump, and all the Greekish girls shall tripping sing. Great Hector's sister did Achilles win, but our great Ajax bravely beat down him. Farewell, my lord. I as your lover speak, the fool's slides are the ice that you should break. Exit. To this effect, Achilles, have I moved you? A woman impudent and mannish grown is not more loathed than an effeminate man in time of action. I stand condemned for this. They think my little stomach to the wa and your great love to me restrains you thus. Sweet, rouse yourself. And the weak wanton Cupid shall from your neck unloose his amorous fold, and like a dewdrop from the lion's mane, be shook to air. I see my reputation is at stake. My fame is shrewdly God. Oh then, beware. Those wounds heal ill that men do give themselves. Omission to do what is necessary seals a commission to a blank of danger. And danger, like an ague, subtly taints even then when we sit idly in the sun. Go call their sights hither, sweet Patroclus. I'll send the fool to Ajax, and desire him to invite the Trojan lords after the combat to see us here unarmed. I have a woman's longing, an appetite that I am sick withal, to see great Hector in his weeds of peace, to talk with him, and to behold his visage, even to my full of view. My mind is troubled, like a fountain stirred, and I myself see not the bottom of it. Exeunt Achilles and Patroclus, act Roman Sine Troy, a street. Is the prince there in person? Had I so good occasion to lie long as you, Prince Paris, nothing but heavenly business should rob my bedmate of my company. A valiant Greek, Aeneas, take his hand. Witness the process of your speech, wherein you told how Diomed, a whole week by days, did haunt you in the field. Health to you, valiant sir, during all question of the gentle truce, but when I meet you armed, as black defiance as heart can think or courage execute, the one and other Diomed embraces. Our bloods are now in calm, and so long health. But when contention and occasion meet, by Jove, I'll play the hunter for thy life with all my force, pursuit, and policy. And thou shalt hunt a lion that will fly with his face backward. In humane gentleness, welcome to Troy. Now, by Anchises' life, welcome indeed. By Venus' hand I swear, no man alive can love in such a sort the thing he means to kill more excellently. We sympathize. Jove, let Aeneas live, if to my sod his fate be not the glory, 1,000 complete causes of the sun. But in mine emulous honor, let him die, with every joint a wound, and that tomorrow. This is the most despiteful gentle greeting, the noblest hateful love that e'er I heard of. What business, Laud, so early? His purpose meets you. 'Twas to bring this Greek to Calchas' house, and there to render him, for the enfreed Antenna, the fair Cressida. Let's have your company, or, if you please, haste there before us. I constantly do think, or rather, call my thought a certain knowledge. My brother Troilus lodges there tonight. Rouse him and give him note of our approach with the whole quality wherefore. I fear we shall be much unwelcome. That I assure you, Troilus had rather Troy were born to Greece than Cressida born from Troy. There is no help, the bitter disposition of the time will have it so. On, Laud, will follow you. And tell me, noble Diomed, faith, tell me true, even in the soul of sound good fellowship, who, in your thoughts, merits fair Helen best, myself, or Menelaus? Both alike. He merits well to have her, that doth seek her, not making any scruple of her soilia, with such a hell of pain and world of charge, and you as well to keep her, that defend her, not palating the taste of her dishonor, with such a costly loss of wealth and friends. He, like a puling cuckold, would drink up the lees and dregs of a flat-tamed piece. You, like a lecher, out of whorish loins, are pleased to breed out your inheritors. Both merits poised, each weighs naw less naw more, but he as he, the heavier for a haw. She's bitter to her country. Hear me, Paris, for every false drop in her body veins a Grecian's life hath sunk. For every scruple of her contaminated carrion weight, a Trojan hath been slain. Since she could speak, she hath not given so many good words breath as for her Greeks and Trojans suffered death. Fair Diomed, you do as chapmen do, dispraise the thing that you desire to buy, but we in silence hold this virtue well, will but commend what we intend to sell. Here lies our way. Exeunt. Scene Roman 2 the same, cot of Pandarus' house. Then, sweet my lord, I'll call mine uncle down, he shall unbolt the gates, trouble him not, to bed, sleep kill those pretty eyes, and give as soft attachment to thy senses as infants empty of all thought, O Cressida? But that the busy day, waked by the lock, hath roused the ribald crows, and dreaming night will hide our joys no longer, I would not from thee. Beshrew the witch, with venomous wights she stays as tediously as hell, but flies the grasps of love with wings more momentary swift than thought. You will catch cold and curse me. Prithee, tarry, you men will never tarry. O foolish Cressida, I might have still held off, and then you would have tarried. Hawk, there's one up, a pestilence on him, now will he be mocking, I shall have such a life, go hang yourself, you naughty mocking uncle. You bring me to do, and then you flout me too. Come, beshrew your heart, you'll ne'er be good, nor suffer others, did not I tell you? Would he were knocked I the head, knocking within. Who's that at door? Good uncle, go and see. My lord, come you again into my chamber, you smile and mock me as if I meant naughtily. Come, you are deceived, I think of no such thing. Knocking within, how earnestly they knock, pray you, come in, I would not for half Troy have you seen here. Exeunt Troilus and Cressida. Who's there, my lord Aeneas? By my troth, I knew you not, what news with you so early? Come, he is here, my lord, do not deny him, it doth impart him much to speak with me. My lord, I scarce have leisure to salute you, my matter is so rash. There is at hand Paris your brother, and Deiphobus, the Grecian Diomed, and our Antenna delivered to us. And for him forthwith, ere the first sacrifice, within this hour, we must give up to Diome's hand the lady Cressida. By Priam and the general state of Troy, they are at hand and ready to effect it. How my achievements mock me? I will go meet them. And my lord Aeneas, we met by chance, you did not find me here. Good, good, my lord, the secrets of nature have not more gift in taciturnity. Exeunt Troilus and Aeneas. I will not, uncle, I have forgot my father. I know no touch of consanguinity, no kin, no love, no blood, no soul so near me as the sweet Troilus. O you gods divine, make Cressida's name the very crown of falsehood, if ever she leave Troilus. Time, fosse, and death, do to this body what extremes you can, but the strong base and building of my love is as the very center of the earth, drawing all things to it. I'll go in and weep, tear my bright hair and scratch my praised cheeks, crack my clear voice with sobs and break my heart with sounding Troilus. I will not go from Troy. Exeunt. Scene Roman 3 the same. Street before Pandarus' house. It is great morning, and the hour prefixed of her delivery to this valiant Greek comes fast upon. Good my brother Troilus, tell you the lady what she is to do, and haste her to the purpose. Walk into her house, I'll bring her to the Grecian presently, and to his hand when I deliver her, think it an altar, and thy brother Troilus a priest there offering to it his own heart. Exit. I know what 'tis to love, and would, as I shall pity, I could help. Please you walk in, my lords. Exeunt. Scene Roman 4 the same. Pandarus' house. Why tell you me of moderation? The grief is fine, full, perfect, that I taste and violenteth in a sense as strong as that which causeth it. How can I moderate it? If I could temporize with my affection, or brew it to a weak and cold a palate, the like allayment could I give my grief. My love admits no qualifying dross, no more my grief, in such a precious loss. What a pair of spectacles is here, let me embrace too. O hot, as the goodly saying is, O hot, heavy hot, why sighst thou without breaking? Where he answers again, because thou canst not ease thy smart by friendship nor by speaking. There was never a truer rhyme. Let us cast away nothing, for we may live to have need of such a verse. We see it, we see it. How now, lambs, Cressida, I love thee in so strained a purity, that the blessed gods, as angry with my fancy, more bright in zeal than the devotion which cold lips blow to their deities, take thee from me. And suddenly, where injury of chance puts back leave-taking, justles roughly by all time of pause, rudely beguiles our lips of all rejoinder, forcibly prevents our locked embrages, strangles our dear vows even in the birth of our own laboring breath. We two, that with so many thousand sighs did by each other, must poorly sell ourselves with the rude brevity and discharge of one. Injurious time now with a robber's haste crams his rich thievery up, he knows not how, as many farewells as be stars in heaven, with distinct breath and consigned kisses to them, he fumbles up into a loose adieu, and scants us with a single famished kiss, distasted with the salt of broken tears. Hawk, you are called, some say the genius so cries, come to him that instantly must die. Bid them have patience, she shall come anon. A woeful Cressida mongst the merry Greeks. When shall we see again? Nay, we must use expostulation kindly, for it is parting from us. I speak not be thou true, as fearing thee, for I will throw my glove to death himself, that there's no maculation in thy heart. But be thou true, say I, to fashion in my sequent protestation, be thou true, and I will see thee. Oh, you shall be exposed, my lord, to dangers as infinite as imminent, but I'll be true. I will corrupt the Grecian sentinels to give thee nightly visitation. But yet be true. Here while I speak it, love, the Grecian youths are full of quality, they're loving, well composed with gifts of nature, flowing and swelling all with arts and exercise, how novelty may move, and pots with person, alas, a kind of godly jealousy, which, I beseech you, call a virtuous sin, makes me afeard. Die I a villain then? In this I do not call your faith in question so mainly as my merit. I cannot sing, nor heal the high lavolt, nor sweeten talk, nor play at subtle games, fair virtues all, to which the Grecians are most prompt and pregnant. But I can tell that in each grace of these there lurks a still and dumb discursive devil that tempts most cunningly, but be not tempted. No, but something may be done that we will not. And sometimes we are devils to ourselves, when we will tempt the frailty of our powers, presuming on their changeful potency. Good brother, come you hither, and bring Aeneas and the Grecian with you. Who I? Alas, it is my vice, my fault, whiles others fish with craft for great opinion, I with great truth catch mere simplicity, whilst some with cunning gild their copper crowns, with truth and plainness I do wear mine bare. Fear not my truth, the moral of my wit is plain and true, there's all the reach of it. Welcome, Sir Diomed. Here is the lady which for Antina we deliver you. At the pot, Laud, I'll give her to thy hand, and by the way possess thee what she is. Entreat her fair, And by my soul, fair Greek, if e'er thou stand at mercy of my sod, name Cressida, and thy life shall be as safe as Priam is in Ilion. Fair Lady Cressida, so please you, save the thanks this prince expects, the luster in your eye, heaven in your cheek, pleads your fair usage. And to Diomed you shall be mistress, and command him wholly. Grecian, thou dost not use me courteously, to shame the zeal of my petition to thee in praising her. I tell thee, Laud of Greece, she is as far high-soaring awe thy praises as thou unworthy to be called her servant. I charge thee use her well, even for my charge, for by the dreadful Pluto, if thou dost not, though the great bulk Achilles be thy god, I'll cut thy throat. Oh, be not moved, Prince Troilus, let me be privileged by my place and message to be a speaker free. When I am hence I'll answer to my lust, and know you, Laud, I'll nothing do on charge. To her own worth she shall be prized, but that you say bet so, I'll speak it in my spirit and honor, no. Come to the pot, I'll tell thee, Diomed, this brave shall oft make thee to hide thy head. Lady, give me your hand, and as we walk, to our own selves bend we our needful talk. Exeunt Troilus, Cressida, and Diomedes. Trumpet within. How have we spent this morning? The prince must think me tardy and remiss that sought to ride before him to the field. Yea, with a bridegroom's fresh alacrity, let us address to tend on Hector's heels. The glory of our Troy doth this day lie on his fair worth and single chivalry. Exeunt. Scene V. The Grecian camp, lists set out. Here art thou an appointment fresh and fair, anticipating time with starting courage. Give with thy trumpet a loud note to Troy, thou dreadful Ajax, that the appalled air may pierce the head of the great combatant and hail him hither. Thou trumpet, there's my purse. Now crack thy lungs and split thy brazen pipe, blow, villain, till thy spurred bias cheek outswell the colic of puffed Aquilin. Come, stretch thy chest, and let thy eyes spout blood. Thou blowst for Hector. Trumpet sounds. 'Tis he, I ken the manner of his gait. He rises on the toe, that spirit of his inaspiration lifts him from the earth. Yet is the kindness but particular. Twi'a bet as she were kissed in general. And very courtly counsel, I'll begin. So much for Nesta. I'll take what winter from your lips, fair lady, Achilles bids you welcome. But that's no argument for kissing now, for this popped Paris in his hardiment, and potted thus you and your argument. O deadly gall, and theme of all our scones, for which we lose our heads to gild his hawns. The first was Menelaus kiss this, mine, Patroclus kisses you. I'll make my match to live, the kiss you take is better than you give, therefore no kiss. No, Paris is not, for you know 'tis true that you are odd and he is even with you. It were no match, your nail against his hawn. May I, sweet lady, beg a kiss of you? Why then, for Venus' sake, give me a kiss when Helen is a maid again, and his? Fie, fie upon her. There's language in her eye, her cheek, her lip, nay, her foot speaks, her wanton spirits look out at every joint and motive of her body. Oh, these encounterers, so glib of tongue, that give accosting welcome ere it comes, and wide unclasp the tables of their thoughts to every ticklish reader, set them down for sluttish spoils of opportunity and daughters of the game. Trumpet within. Hail, all you state of Greece! What shall be done to him that victory commands? Or do you purpose a victor shall be known? Will you the knights shall to the edge of all extremity pursue each other, or shall be divided by any voice or order of the field? Hector bade ask. 'Tis done like Hector, but securely done, a little proudly, and great deal misprising the knight opposed. If not Achilles, sir, what is your name? Therefore Achilles. But whate'er, know this, in the extremity of great and little, valor and pride excel themselves in Hector, the one almost as infinite as all, the other blank as nothing. Weigh him well, and that which looks like pride is courtesy. This Ajax is half made of Hector's blood, in love whereof, half Hector stays at home, half hot, half hand, half Hector comes to seek this blended knight, half Trojan and half Greek. Here is Sir Diomed. Go, gentle knight, stand by our Ajax. As you and Laud Aeneas consent upon the order of their fight, so be it, either to the uttermost, or else a breath, the combatants being kin half stints their strife before their strokes begin. Ajax and Hector enter the lists. The youngest son of Priam, a true knight, not yet mature, yet matchless, firm of word, speaking in deeds and deedless in his tongue. Not soon provoked, nor being provoked, soon calmed, his heart and hand both open and both free. For what he has he gives, what thinks he shows. Yet gives he not till judgment guide his bounty, nor dignifies an impure thought with breath. Manly as Hector, but more dangerous. For Hector in his blaze of wrath subscribes to tender objects, but he in heat of action is more vindicative than jealous love. They call him Troilus, and on him erect a second hope as fairly built as Hector. Thus says Aeneas, one that knows the youth even to his inches, and with private soul did in great Ilion thus translate him to me. Alarum. Hector and Ajax fight. Hector, thou sleepst. Awake thee. Why then will I no more? Thou art, great Laud, my father's sister's son, a cousin german to great Priam's seed. The obligation of our blood forbids a gory emulation twixt us twain. Were thy commixtion Greek and Trojan, so that thou couldst say, this hand is Grecian all, and this is Trojan, the sinews of this leg all Greek, and this all Troy. My mother's blood runs on the dexter cheek, and this sinister bounds in my father's. By Jove multipotent, thou shouldst not bear from me a Greekish member wherein my sod had not impressure made of our rank feud. But the just gods gainsay that any drop thou borrowedst from thy mother, my sacred aunt, should by my mortal sod be drained. Let me embrace thee, Ajax, by him that thunders, thou haste lusty arms. Hector would have them fall upon him thus, cousin, all honor to thee. I thank thee, Hector, thou art too gentle and too free a man. I came to kill thee, cousin, and bear hence a great addition earned in thy death. Not Neoptolemus so mirable, on whose bright crest fame with her loudest oys cries, this is he, could promise to himself a thought of added onaton from Hector. There is expectance here from both the sides, what further you will do. Will answer it, the issue is embracement, Ajax, farewell. If I might in entreaties find success, as seld I have the chance, I would desire my famous cousin to our Grecian tents. 'Tis Agamemnon's wish, and great Achilles doth long to see unarmed the valiant Hector. Aeneas, call my brother Troilus to me, and signify this loving interview to the expectors of our Trojan pot. Desire them home. Give me thy hand, my cousin, I will go eat with thee and see your knights. The worthiest of them tell me name by name, but for Achilles, mine own searching eyes shall find him by his lodge and potly size. Worthy of alms? As welcome as to one that would be rid of such an enemy. But that's no welcome. Understand, Marclea, what's past and what's to come is strewed with husks and formless ruin of oblivion. But in this extant moment, faith and troth, strained purely from all hollow bias drawing, bids thee, with most divine integrity, from hot of very hot, great Hector, welcome. Let me confirm my princely brother's greeting, you brace of warlike brothers, welcome hither. O you, my lord, by Mars his gauntlet thanks, mock not, that I affect the untraded oath. Your quondam wife swears still by Venus' glove, she's well, but bade me not commend her to you. I have, thou gallant Trojan, seen thee oft laboring for destiny make cruel way through ranks of Greekish youth. And I have seen thee, as hot as Perseus, spur thy Phrygian steed, despising many forfeits and subduments, when thou haste hung thy advanced sod i' the air, not letting it decline on the declined, that I have said to some my standers by low, Jupiter is yonder, dealing life. And I have seen thee pause and take thy breath, when that a ring of Greeks have hemmed thee in, like an Olympian wrestling, this have I seen. But this thy countenance, still locked in steel, I never saw till now. I knew thy grandsire and once fought with him. He was a soldier good, but by great Mars, the captain of us all, never saw like thee. Let an old man embrace thee, and worthy warrior, welcome to our tents. Let me embrace thee, good old chronicle, that haste so long walked hand in hand with time. Most reverend Nesta, I am glad to clasp thee. I would my arms could match thee in contention, as they contend with thee in courtesy. Ha, by this white beard, I'll fight with thee tomorrow. Well, welcome, welcome. I have seen the time. I wonder now how yonder city stands when we have here her base and pillar by us. I know your favor, Lord Ulysses, well. Ah, sir, there's many a Greek and Trojan dead, since first I saw yourself and Diomed in Ilion, on your Greekish embassy. Sir, I foretold you then what would ensue. My prophecy is but half his journey yet. For yonder walls, that pertly front your town, yon towers, whose wanton tops do bust the clouds, must kiss their own feet. I must not believe you, there they stand yet, and modestly I think the fall of every Phrygian stone will cost a drop of Grecian blood. The end crowns all, and that old common arbitrator, time, will one day end it. So to him we leave it. Most gentle and most valiant Hector, welcome. After the general, I beseech you next to feast with me and see me at my tent. I shall forestall thee, Lord Ulysses, thou. Now, Hector, I have fed mine eyes on thee. I have with exact view perused thee, Hector, and quoted joint by joint. Thou art too brief. I will the second time as I would by thee, view thee limb by limb. Oh, like a book of spot thou'lt read me awe, but there's more in me than thou understand'st. Why dost thou so oppress me with thine eye? Tell me, you heavens, in which part of his body shall I destroy him? Whether there, that I may give the local wound a name and make distinct the very breach whereout Hector's great spirit flew. Answer me, heavens. It would discredit the blessed gods, proud man, to answer such a question. Stand again, think'st thou to catch my life so pleasantly as to prenominate in nice conjecture where thou wilt hit me dead? Wert thou an oracle to tell me so, I'll not believe thee. Henceforth guard thee well, for I'll not kill thee there, nor there, but by the forge that stithied Mars his helm, I'll kill thee everywhere, yea, or and ah. You wisest Grecians, pardon me this brag, his insolence draws folly from my lips, but I'll endeavor deeds to match these words, aw may I never. Do not chafe thee, cousin. And you, Achilles, let these threats alone, till accident or purpose bring you taut. You may have every day enough of Hector, if you have stomach. The general state, I fear, can scarce entreat you to be odd with him. I pray you, let us see you in the field. We have had pelting wars since you refused the Grecians' cause. Dost thou entreat me, Hector? Tomorrow do I meet thee, fell as death. Tonight all friends. First, all you peers of Greece, go to my tent, there in the full convive we. Afterwards, as Hector's leisure and your bounties shall concur together, severally entreat him. Beat loud the tabourines, let the trumpets blow, that this great soldier may his welcome know. Exeunt all except Troilus and Ulysses. My lord Ulysses, tell me, I beseech you, in what place of the field doth Calchas keep? At Menelaus' tent, most princely Troilus, there Diomed doth feast with him tonight, who neither looks upon the heaven nor earth, but gives all gaze and bent of amorous view on the fair Cressida. Shall I, sweet lord, be bound to you so much, after we part from Agamemnon's tent, to bring me thither? You shall command me, sir. As gentle tell me, of what honour was this Cressida in Troy? Had she no lover there that wails her absence? Oh, sir, to such as boasting show their scars a mock is due. Will you walk on, my lord? She was beloved, she loved, she is, and doth, but still sweet love is food for fortune's tooth. Exeunt. Act V. Scene I the Grecian camp, before Achilles' tent. I'll heat his blood with Greekish wine tonight, which with my scimitar I'll cool tomorrow. Patroclus, let us feast him to the height. How now, thou core of envy? Thou crusty batch of nature, what's the news? My sweet Patroclus, I am thwarted quite from my great purpose in tomorrow's battle. Here is a letter from Queen Hecuba, a token from her daughter, my fair love, both taxing me, engaging me to keep an oath that I have sworn. I will not break it, fall Greeks, fail fame, honor or go or stay. My major vow lies here, this I'll obey. Come, their sights, help to trim my tent, this night in banqueting must all be spent. Away, Patroclus? Exeunt Achilles and Patroclus. No, yonder 'tis there, where we see the lights. So now, fair prince of Troy, I bid good night. Ajax commands the god to tend on you. Good night and welcome, both at once, to those that go or tarry. Old Nesta tarries, and you too, Diomed, keep Hector company an hour or two. I cannot laud, I have important business, the tide whereof is now. Good night, great Hector. Aside to Troilus, follow his torch, he goes to Calchas' tent, I'll keep you company. Scene Roman 2 the same, before Calchas' tent. Nay, but do then, and let your mind be coupled with your words. I prithee, do not hold me to mine oath, bid me do anything but that, sweet Greek. You are moved, prince, let us depart, I pray you, lest your displeasure should enlarge itself to wrathful terms. This place is dangerous, the time right deadly, I beseech you, go. Nay, good my lord, go off, you flow to great distraction. Come, my lord, I pray you, stay, by hell and all hell's torments I will not speak a word. Doth that grieve thee? O withered truth? By Jove, I will be patient. You shake, my lord, at something, will you go? You will break out. Nay, stay, by Jove, I will not speak a word. There is between my will and all offences a God of patience. Stay a little while. Fear me not, sweet lord, I will not be myself, nor have cognition of what I feel. I am all patience. You look upon that sleeve, behold it well. He loved me, O false wench, give it me again. It is no matter, now I haved again. I will not meet with you tomorrow night, I prithee, Diomed. Visit me no more. O, all you gods. O pretty, pretty pledge. Thy master now lies thinking in his bed of thee and me, and sighs, and takes my glove, and gives memorial dainty kisses to it as I kiss thee. Nay, do not snatch it from me, he that takes that doth take my heart withal. You shall not have it, Diomed, faith, you shall not, I'll give you something else. 'Twas ones that loved me better than you will. But now you have it, take it. By all Diana's waiting women yond, and by herself, I will not tell you whose. Tomorrow will I wear it on my helm, and grieve his spirit that dares not challenge it. Wert thou the devil, and werest it on thy horn, it should be challenged. Well, well, 'tis done, 'tis past, and yet it is not, I will not keep my word. Why then, farewell, thou never shalt mock Diomed again. You shall not go, one cannot speak a word but it straight starts you. Good night, I prithee, come. Exit Diomes. Troilus, farewell. One eye yet looks on thee, but with my heart the other eye doth see. Ah, poor our sex. This fault in us I find, the error of our eye directs our mind. What error leads must err. Oh, then conclude minds swayed by eyes are full of turpitude. Exit. A proof of strength she could not publish more, unless she said, my mind is now turned haw. to make a recordation to my soul of every syllable that here was spoke. But if I tell how these two did coact, shall I not lie in publishing a truth? Sith yet there is a credence in my heart, an assurance so obstinately strong, that doth invert the attest of eyes and ears, as if those organs had deceptious functions, created only to calumniate. Was Cressida here? Let it not be believed for womanhood. Think we had mothers, do not give advantage to stubborn critics, apt without a theme for deprivation, to square the general sex by Cressida's rule. Rather think this not Cressida. This she? No, this is Diomed's Cressida. If beauty have a soul, this is not she. If souls guide vows, if vows be sanctimonies, if sanctimony be the god's delight, if there be rule in unity itself, this is not she. O madness of discourse that cause sets up with and against itself, bifold authority, where reason can revolt without perdition, and loss assume all reason without revolt, this is, and is not, Cressida. Within my soul there doth conduce a fight of this strange nature that a thing inseparate divides more wider than the sky and earth, and yet the spacious breadth of this division admits no orifex for a point as subtle as Ariadne's broken woof to enter. Instance, O instance, strong as Pluto's gates, Cressida is mine, tied with the bonds of heaven. Instance, O instance, strong as heaven itself, the bonds of heaven are slipped, dissolved, and loosed, and with another knot, 5-finger tied, the fractions of her faith, aughts of her love, the fragments, scraps, the bits and greasy relics of her o'er-eaten faith, are bound to Diomed. May worthy Troilus be half attached with that which here his passion doth express. I Greek, and that shall be divulged well in characters as red as Mars his heart inflamed with Venus. Never did young man fancy with so eternal and so fixed a soul. Hark, Greek, as much as I do Cressida love, so much by weight hate I her Diomed. That sleeve is mine that he'll bear on his helm. Were it a casque composed by Vulcan's skill, my sword should bite it. Not the dreadful spout which shipmen do the hurricano call, constringed in mass by the almighty sun, shall dizzy with more clamour Neptune's ear in his descent than shall my prompted sword falling on Diomed. O Cressida? O false Cressida, false, false, false. Let all untruth stand by thy stained name, and they'll seem glorious. O contain yourself, your passion draws ears hither. I have been seeking you this hour, my lord. Hector by this is arming him in Troy. Ajax, your god, stays to conduct you home. Have with you, prince. My courteous lord, adieu. Farewell, revolted fair. And Diomed, stand fast and wear a castle on thy head, seen Roman 3 Troy, before Priam's palace. When was my lord so much ungently tempered to stop his ears against admonishment? Unarm, and do not fight today. You train me to offend you, get you in, by all the everlasting gods I'll go. Here, sister, armed and bloody in intent. Consort with me in loud and dear petition, pursue we him on knees, for I have dreamed of bloody turbulence, and this whole night hath nothing been but shapes and forms of slaughter. The gods are deaf to hot and peevish vows, they are polluted offerings, more abhorred than spotted livers in the sacrifice. Oh, be persuaded, do not count it wholly to hurt by being just. It is as lawful, for we would give much, to use violent thefts and rob in the behalf of charity. It is the purpose that makes strong the vow, but vows to every purpose must not hold, unarm, sweet Hector. Hold you still, I say, mine honour keeps the weather of my fate. Lie every man holds dear, but the brave man holds honour far more precious dear than life. No, faith, young Troilus, doff thy harness, youth. I am today I the vein of chivalry. Let grow thy sinews till their knots be strong, and tempt not yet the brushes of the war. Unarm thee, go, and doubt thou not, brave boy, I'll stand today for thee and me and Troy. Brother, you have a vice of mercy in you, which better fits a lion than a man. When many times the captive Grecian falls, even in the fan and wind of your fair sword, you bid them rise and live. For the love of all the gods, let's leave the hermit pity with our mothers. And when we have our armors buckled on, the venomed vengeance ride upon our swords, spur them to ruthful work, rein them from ruth. Who should withhold me? Not fate, obedience, nor the hand of Mars beckoning with fiery truncheon my retire. Not Priamus and Hecuba on knees, their eyes ogled with recourse of tears. Not you, my brother, with your true sword drawn, opposed to hinder me, should stop my way, but by my ruin. Lay hold upon him, Priam, hold him fast, he is thy crutch. Now if thou lose thy stay, thou on him landing, and all Troy on thee, fall altogether. Come, Hector, come, go back. Thy wife hath dreamed, thy mother hath had visions, Cassandra doth foresee, and I myself am like a prophet suddenly enwrapped to tell thee that this day is ominous, therefore come back. Aeneas is afield, and I do stand engaged to many Greeks, even in the faith of valor, to appear this morning to them. I must not break my faith. You know me dutiful, therefore, dear sir, let me not shame respect, but give me leave to take that cost by your consent and voice, which you do here forbid me, royal Priam. Andromache, I am offended with you, upon the love you bear me, get you in. Exit Andromache. This foolish, dreaming, superstitious girl makes all these bodements. Oh, farewell, dear Hector, look how thou deest, look how thy eye turns pale, look how thy wounds do bleed at many vents. Hark, how Troy roars, how Hecuba cries out, how poor Andromache shrills her dullas forth. Behold distraction, frenzy, and amazement like witless antics one another meet, and all cry, Hector, Hector's dead. O Hector, farewell. Yet soft, Hector, I take my leave, thou dost thyself and all our Troy deceive. Exit. You are amazed, my liege, at her exclaim, go in and cheer the town, will forth and fight, do deeds worth praise and tell you them at night. They are at it, hawk. Proud Diomede, believe, I come to lose my arm, or win my sleeve. Words, mere words, no matter from the hot, the effect doth operate another way. Tearing the letter. Go, wind, to wind, that turn and change together. My love with words and errors still she feeds, but edifies another with her deeds. Exeunt severally. Scene Roman far plains between Troy and the Grecian camp. Fly not, for shouldst thou take the river Styx, I would swim after. Thou dost miscall retire. I do not fly, but advantageous care withdrew me from the odds of multitude. Have it thee? What art thou, Greek? Art thou for Hector's match? Art thou of blood and honour? Seen thee another part of the plains. Go, go, my servant, take thou Troilus' hoss, present the fair steed to my lady Cressida. Fellow, commend my service to her beauty. Tell her I have chastised the amorous Trojan, and am her knight by proof. Renew. The fierce Polydamas hath beat down Menon. Bastard Magellan hath Dorius prisoner, and stands Colossus-wise, waving his beam upon the pashed causes of the kings Epistrophus and Cedius. Polixenes is slain, Amphimachus and Thoas deadly hurt, Patroclus ta'en are slain, and Palaemes saw hurt and bruised. The dreadful Sagittary appalls our numbers. Haste we, Diomede, to reinforcement, or we perish all. Go, bear Patroclus' body to Achilles, and bid the snail-paced Ajax arm for shame. There is 1,000 Hectors in the field. Now here he fights on Galath his hoss, and there lacks work. Anon he's there afoot, and there they fly or die, like scaled skulls before the belching whale. Then is he yonder, and there the strawy Greeks, ripe for his edge, fall down before him, like the mower's swath. Here, there, and everywhere, he leaves and takes, dexterity so obeying appetite that what he will he does, and does so much that proof is called impossibility. Oh, courage, courage, princes! Great Achilles is arming, weeping, cursing, vowing vengeance. Patroclus' wounds have roused his drowsy blood, together with his mangled myrmidons that noseless, handless, hacked and chipped, come to him, crying on Hector. Ajax hath lost a friend and foams at mouth, and he is armed and at it, roaring for Troilus, who hath done today mad and fantastic execution, engaging and redeeming of himself with such a careless foss and fossless care as if that luck, in very spite of cunning, bade him win all. Where is this Hector? Come, thou Boiquella, show thy face. Know what it is to meet Achilles angry. Hector, where's Hector? I will none but Hector. Exeunt. Scene VI another part of the plains. Were I the general, thou shouldst have my office ere that correction. Troilus, I say, what, Troilus? O traitor Diomede, turn thy false face, thou traitor, and pay thy life thou owest me for my hoss. I do disdain thy courtesy, proud Trojan, be happy that my arms are out of use. My rest and negligence befriends thee now, but thou anon shalt hear of me again, till when go seek thy fortune. Exit, fare thee well. I would have been much more afresh a man had I expected thee. How now, my brother? Ajax hath ta'en Aeneas, shall it be? No, by the flame of yonder glorious heaven, he shall not carry him, I'll be ta'en too, or bring him off. Fate, hear me what I say, I reck not though I end my life today. Exit, stand, thou Greek, thou art a goodly mock. No, wilt thou not? I like thy armor well. I'll fresh it and unlock the rivets all, but I'll be master of it. Wilt thou not, beast, abide? Why then fly on, I'll hunt thee for thy hide. Exeunt. Scene Roman 7 another part of the plains. Come here about me, you my myrmidons. Mock what I say. Attend me where I will, strike not a stroke, but keep yourselves in breath. And when I have the bloody Hector found, impale him with your weapons round about, in fellest manner execute your aims. Follow me, sirs, and my proceedings it is decreed Hector the Great must die. Exeunt. Scene Roman 8 another part of the plains. Most putrefied Caw, so fair without, thy goodly armor thus hath cost thy life. Now is my day's work done. I'll take good breath, rest, sod, thou haste thy fill of blood and death. Puts off his helmet and hangs his shield behind him. Look, Hector, how the sun begins to set, how ugly night comes breathing at his heels. even with the veil and docking of the sun, to close the day up, Hector's life is done. Strike, fellows, strike, this is the man I seek. Hector falls, so Ilion, fall thou next, now, Troy, sink down. Here lies thy heart, thy sinews, and thy bone. On Myrmidons, and cry you all amain, Achilles hath the mighty Hector slain. A retreat sounded, hawk, a retire upon our Grecian pot. The dragon wing of night spreads the earth, and stickler-like the armies separates. My half-supped sod that frankly would have fed, pleased with this dainty bait, thus goes to bed. Sheathes his sword. Come, tie his body to my horse's tail, along the field I will the Trojan trail. Exeunt. Scene room in 9 another part of the plains, peace, drums, within. Achilles, Achilles, Hector's slain. Achilles, if it be so, yet bragless let it be, great Hector was a man as good as he. March patiently along. Let one be sent to pray Achilles see us at our tent. If in his death the gods have us befriended, great Troy is ours, and our sharp wars are ended. Exeunt. Marching. Scene X another part of the plains. Stand, ho, yet are we masters of the field, never go home. Here starve we out the night, he's dead, and at the murderer's horse's tail, in beastly sot, dragged through the shameful field. Frown on, you heavens, affect your rage with speed. Sit, gods, upon your thrones, and smile at Troy. I say, at once let your brief plagues be mercy, and linger not our sure destructions on. You understand me not that tell me so. I do not speak of flight, of fear, of death, but dare all imminence that gods and men address their dangers in. Hector is gone, who shall tell Priam so? Ah, Hecuba, let him that will a screech owl I be called, go into Troy, and say there, Hector's dead. There is a word will Priam turn to stone, make wells and Neobes of the maids and wives, cold statues of the youth, and in a word, scare Troy out of itself. But march away, Hector is dead, there is no more to say. Stay yet. You vile abominable tents thus proudly pite upon our Phrygian plains, let Titan rise as early as he dare, I'll through and through you. And, thou great-sized coward, no space of earth shall sunder our two hates. I'll haunt thee like a wicked conscience still, that mouldeth goblins swift as frenzy's thoughts. Strike a free march to Troy, with comfort go, hope of revenge shall hide our inward woe. Exeunt Aeneas and Trojans. Hence, Brocolaci, ignominy and shame pursue thy life, and live I with thy name. Exit. A goodly medicine for my aching bones. O world, world, world? Thus is the poor agent despised. O traitors and bawds, how earnestly are you set a work, and how ill requited. Why should our endeavor be so loved and the performance so loathed? What verse for it? What instance for it? Let me see. Full merrily the humble bee doth sing, till he hath lost his honey and his sting, and being once subdued in armed tale, sweet honey and sweet notes together fail. Good traitors in the flesh, set this in your painted cloths. As many as be here of Pandar's hall, your eyes, half out, weep out at Pandar's fall, or if you cannot weep, yet give some groans, though not for me, yet for your aching bones. Brethren and sisters of the hold daw trade, some 2 months hence my will shall here be made. It should be now, but that my fear is this, some galled goose of Winchester would hiss. Till then I'll sweat and seek about for eases, and at that time bequeath you my diseases. Exit. Colophon, Troilus, and Cressida was published in 1601 by William Shakespeare. This ebook was produced for Standard eBooks by Emma Sweeney, and is based on a transcription produced in 1993 by Jeremy Hilton for the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and on digital scans from the Hathai Trust Digital Library. The cover page is adapted from Achilles lamenting the death of Patroclus, a painting completed in 1800 by an unknown artist. The cover and title pages feature the League Spartan and Sots Mill Gaudi typefaces created in 2014 and 2009 by the League of Movable Type. This edition was released on August 18, 2025, 9:13 p.m., and is based on revision FF1A87. The first edition of this ebook was released on September 11, 2022, 5:32 p.m. You can check for updates to this ebook, view its revision history, or download it for different e-reading systems at standardbooksog/ebooks/William Shakespeare/Troilus and Cressida. The volunteer-driven Standard eBooks project relies on readers like you to submit typos, corrections, and other improvements. Anyone can contribute at Standard Booksog. Dramatis personae Priam, King of Troy Hector, his son Troilus, his son Paris, his son Deiphobus, his son Helenus, his son Magellan, a bastard son of Priam Aeneas, Trojan commander Antenna, Trojan commander Calchas, a Trojan priest taking part with the Greeks Pandarus, uncle to Cressida Agamemnon, the Grecian general Menelaus, his brother Achilles, Grecian prince Ajax, Grecian prince Ulysses, Grecian prince Nesta, Grecian Prince Diomedes, Grecian Prince Patroclus, Grecian Prince Thersites, a deformed and scurrilous Grecian Alexander, servant to Cressida, servant to Troilus, servant to Paris, servant to Diomedes Helen, wife to Menelaus Andromache, wife to Hector Cassandra, daughter to Priam, a prophetess Cressida, daughter to Calchas Trojan and Greek soldiers, and attendant scene. Troy and the Grecian camp before it. Troilus and Cressida. Imprint. This ebook is the product of many hours of hard work by volunteers for standard ebooks, and builds on the hard work of other literature lovers made possible by the public domain. This particular ebook is based on a transcription from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and on digital scans from the Hathai Trust Digital Library. The source text and artwork in this ebook are believed to be in the United States public domain. That is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. They may still be copyrighted in other countries, so users located outside of the United States must check their local laws before using this ebook. The creators of and contributors to this ebook dedicate their contributions to the worldwide public domain via the terms in the CC 01.0 Universal Public Domain Dedication. For full license information, see the uncopyright at the end of this ebook. Standard eBooks is a volunteer-driven project that produces ebook editions of public domain literature using modern typography, technology, and editorial standards, and distributes them free of cost. You can download this and other ebooks carefully produced for true book lovers at standardbooks.org.